Well, we lucked out and we are here in Turtle Island at the Turtle Island Healing Ceremonies, but even luckier, we have run into an incredible person, and her new Indian name is First Light. Hello, First Light. Say go.
Greetings from Turtle Island in the state of Maine.
And this is a historic event because they've invited people, leaders from all over the world, to start healing. And this is turned out to be probably 1,000 people have come to this event. So, First Light, what nation do you come from?
My mother's people came to this country from Bogota, Colombia. The reason why they came is my grandfather was murdered by his business partner, and my grandmother, with her 5 children, came to New York City to begin. Um, from her side of the family, Chibcha is the language group uh, from which the Muisca are from. There are many Chibcha language tribes in Colombia, um, and of course, because they were visited by the Spanish so early, the culture continues, the language group continues, but so many have been assimilated into Colombian culture and language, Spanish language.
Now, where would you consider to be your favorite place on earth?
My favorite place on earth, boy, there's so many. My favorite place is in the woods, in the woodlands. But now that yeah, by the woodlands, by the water. Actually, yesterday there was a place that we walked to following the water ceremony, and it's right behind me here, um, belonging to the Penobscot. And I would have to say that was my most beautiful place I've been to in a long time, with the green woodland trees, hardwood trees, some evergreen, and then the water with the mist rising above. The water is just absolutely breathtaking. I also love the high desert, the brown earth of the Southwest, and I live by the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and I'd have to say the big open space of the ocean is a favorite place also. It's
Wow.
hard picking just one.
Okay, fair enough. You've spent a few years on Mother Earth. What would you say she's taught you in that time?
Hmm. Um, so during my time here, what I have come to know is that the time we spend here, despite my despite what I have been what I've been taught about um, profession, career, acquisition of material objects, our purpose for being here is to develop and to nurture our spiritual attributes. And it's the infant in mother's belly who's developing her arms and and legs, or his arms and legs, and lungs. None of those faculties does that infant use inside the womb, but when that person is born into this world, that's what they use to navigate and to live here on Mother Earth. What we do now that we're on this world, we develop the qualities of compassion and patience and love. So many more that I need to cultivate in my lifetime. Forgiveness being one of the big ones I'm working on during this journey. And when our bodies die and go back to the earth, it's these spiritual qualities that we take with us into the next world. So
Wow,
that's what I work on. I don't always succeed,
such a
trust me.
job. Now, these two next questions are optional. What has been the very best moment of your life?
I have two.
Okay.
I would have to say, on the physical level, having children. I've given birth to 3 boys, 3 beautiful boys, and I
And
would
their
have to
names
say
are?
Kaleem Summerday Armstrong. The second one is Julian Autumn Armstrong, and the third is Dayan Armstrong. And I also have 2 bonus children from my husband's family.
Mhm.
So bringing life, creating life, and bringing life into this world has is absolutely for me and for so many women an honor and a privilege and a best moment. Raising them is a challenge, but my second best moment was I should say that my father was from his family. His people are from Ukraine, what was then former Soviet Union, and he was raised in the Jewish faith. My mother from Colombia was raised in the Roman Catholic faith, and had the privilege of being trained and raised in 2 religions until I discovered at 12 the hypocrisy of how the people interpret the word of their holy person. And I studied different Eastern religions, and when I was 23 years old, on May 19th, exactly, I declared my faith in the Baha'i faith, which is a religion that believes in the unity of all people and the oneness of humankind. And I actually did that on the Baha'i month of Nur, which means light. So my new name
Oh, my.
is super awesome. Very special gift. So I would have to say that having the knowledge of the renewal of faith, the renewal of religion for this age to bring about unity, the elimination of all forms of prejudice, and peace on earth has shaped my entire adult life and defines the work that I do.
Okay, fair enough. And the worst moment of your life? Optional.
The worst moment in my life. I've been divorced, and I would have to say that the severing of a relationship, I think that we are hardwired for connection, both in our brains and in our guts, um, and to experience disconnection, to experience any form of severing of relationship is a not good experience. So
How many
in
years?
20 something years. So I've been married twice for 20 something years.
Wow.
I've been
40-year
honored to
veteran.
know I've been honored to know 2 wonderful men and to walk this path with them. And it's not always easy, but it's what we're called to do.
Now, the question I've been dying to ask you,
This is fun.
with all that's happened in the past, all that will happen in the future, and happening now, how do you feel about being Native?
Well, for me, taking on that identity um, has been a process. Growing up, I grew up on the East Coast, actually in northern New Jersey, and at that time, I was I didn't know who I was, and nor did other people. And even within my own family, jokingly, I was called half breed or half blood, or um, and I didn't know. I didn't even know if that was a good or a bad thing. So being able to um, come to terms with embracing both the conquistador and the indigenous has been both denied in my family and a challenge to embrace. And how do I feel about it? It's wonderful. It's wonderful. I believe, and most of my adult teaching life has been to connect in my teaching native, indigenous ways of knowing with the land and with culture, and colonization and building skills within my students to decolonize their mind and and I believe that the indigenous around the world are the canaries in the coal mine and reflect the harm that we've done to Mother Earth in these higher stages of capital economy. And what we're seeing around us is the collapse of nation states and the destruction to Mother Earth. And my prayer is that we can continue this work to educate people, to challenge the systems that are doing harm to the land, to the air, and to the souls and hearts of people throughout the world.
Wow. I couldn't have said it better. Thank you very much, New Light.